10 questions you've always wondered about. Why are movies shot in 24 frames per second instead of 60? The short answer is tradition and habit. See, historically, film was expensive, and 24 frames per second was the lowest acceptable frame rate that still resulted in somewhat smooth motion, so it became the standard. Fast forward 100 years, and the 24 FPS is now associated with the film look, to the point where people will react negatively and complain that the movie feels off or is cheap looking if it was shot in the higher frame rates, despite it being of higher quality. While at the same time, high frame rates like 60 FPS became the standard for soap operas and live sports events. The human body can self-heal wounds and broken bones, but why can't it regrow limbs? While theoretically possible, the truth is, we don't know why humans form scar tissue instead of regenerating lost limbs. However, we do know that it takes a lot of time, and if humans were capable of regenerating limbs, it would probably take them around 25 years to do so, considering that it takes really small animals like salamanders over a year to regenerate a long limb. So, maybe evolution drove humans towards scar tissue because it seals the wounds from infection long before the limb could regrow. What are the red lights on top of buildings for? These lights are used as a collision avoidance measure for passing aircrafts. They're designed specifically to make the building more visible and are placed on key points around the building in a way that will make the building structure look more visible. Where does the voice in my head come from, and how am I able to hear my thoughts? As you reach the age of 3 years old, your ego starts to develop, and you begin to see the world in relation to yourself, which is when you start realizing that there is you as opposed to the world. Your brain also starts learning language, and it becomes the perfect tool for the ego to analyze and navigate the world it's experiencing. And before long, you get an inside voice that's like a running commentary of your life. There are also some theories suggesting that we hear thoughts as a voice inside our head because we are often most comfortable receiving suggestions from people we trust, which is why the voice often sounds like your own voice, or the voice of a loved one. However, schizophrenic people often report that the voice they hear is strange, almost like it belongs to a stranger. Why do humans have a sense of aesthetic? The sense of aesthetic or beauty that us humans have stems in part from the fact that the human brain is inherently attracted to orderly patterns. This trait is arguably one of the most essential traits that we have. Detecting patterns helped us learn things that are essential for our survival, things like tracking animals or knowing weather trends. This is also why we enjoy music so much. Our brains have evolved to thrive on pattern detection, and without it, everything seems dull and understimulating to our brains.